for viewers who don't know, you and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago, the problems and the speed with which you have come out with a solution is incredible. Give us a little bit of background here.
Thanks, Catherine. And let me start by saying it's not me. In our press release that we released this morning, we pointedly had 51 signatories to the document. This is a movement that has started with the Black community and is a solution that is pitched by the Black community for the Black community. And so what the Black Opportunity Fund will do is it will seek out long-term strategic partnerships with business, with philanthropists, and eventually with government in order to craft complex solutions to the problem that is systemic anti-Black racism. So we're not looking for a one-off solution. We're not looking for a handout. The Black community is ready with expertise and willpower, and this is a national coalition that we've built. So we have representation from Halifax, from Montreal, from Toronto, from Calgary, and it's our hope by the end of the summer that we've got representation from every province in this great country.
Dennis, how long did it take you to put this together?
So the idea has been circling in the Black community for a number of years, and the model for this fund is the Equality Fund. So for those who aren't familiar with the Equality Fund, it is a $400 million permanently endowed fund that is set up to combat sexism around the world. It strives to create a more equal world by powering feminist and women's movements and organizations around the world. Now, we looked at that fund and said, now is the time for a similarly permanently endowed fund to serve the to work with the Black community in order to address systemic anti-Black racism. And so it's an exciting time for all of us who have signed on the document, but we've already had inbound requests from Black professionals, and from everyday people, philanthropists, companies who want to partner with us for the long-term battle against systemic anti-Black racism.
And give us a sense in terms of those people who have already been calling you, what it's like for them in terms of getting government funding, whether or not they get procurements, what it's like during this time, this COVID-19 pandemic. Give us a sense of what it's like to be a Black entrepreneur from the calls you're getting.
Yeah, sure. So it's not just entrepreneurs, it's the heads of organizations that have reached out to us. And quite honestly, we've reached out to a number of them in anticipation of this release. And really what they are looking at is they realize as well that it's time to change the funding model. You can't make long-term strategic decisions or take on complex problems if your funding source is questionable and is 1 year in duration. So they're excited about the idea of partnering with us because what we're doing is we're elevating their platform and we're amplifying their message. And that is key for them to be able to fulfill their missions. So we've reached out to organizations around justice reform, around healthcare, around education, and we think that there's the opportunity to stitch together not only a coalition of Black professionals, but also a coalition of Black organizations, Black businesses with common cause so that they can address some of the systemic issues in the community. Like, for instance, you mentioned we're in the midst of a global pandemic. It's disproportionately impacted the Black community. So initiatives to help with healthcare. You and I have talked about the Peel District School Board on a couple of occasions now. So initiatives to help with the education system. Catherine, these initiatives benefit all Canadians, not just Black Canadians. Imagine if Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Steve Jobs had been arbitrarily steered away from, career paths that took them where they are and gave them the ability and platform to impact the world. What if they were arbitrarily steered into careers with lower socioeconomic outcomes and less of an ability to bring all of their skills to bear to impact the global economy? So that's what's happening in the Black community. So this fund is going to partner with the community to ensure that all Canadians benefit from the potential that exists in the Black community.
And Dennis, for more clarity in terms of this fund, what does it look like, or how is it structured, or how should we think about it?
Yeah, you should think about it as a permanent endowment fund. If you think of all the challenges that we face in this world, whether it's cancer or AIDS or anti-Semitism or sexism, now systemic anti-Black racism is going to receive the Black community is going to receive a permanently endowed fund that will be able to get strong long-term strategic allocations from government, from business, and from philanthropists. in order to direct the resources needed to solve these complex problems over a sustained period of time. We're not going to solve systemic anti-Black racism in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. So it's that long-term strategic partnership that matters. So you ask how that money will be deployed and how the problems will be solved. Again, we're going to partner with organizations, and in the instances that those organizations or businesses don't exist, we're going to help capitalize them and build them. And then the idea is to solve some of the issues in the community, but also to partner with business to eliminate some of the unconscious biases that exist that deny opportunities for Blacks in the professional realm, in the healthcare realm, you name it. So it's a long and very, very ambitious project that we've undertaken here, but that's why this is a coalition of 50 plus Black professionals and leaders. And by the end of the summer, I expect that number to be north of 200 because we've had tremendous, tremendous inbound interest, and we're looking forward to building that coalition as a team.
Dennis, with 51 signatories, as you mentioned, and I'm sure many, many more to come on, this is a whole new organization, really. I mean, you as CEO and CIO of Starlight Capital, what will be your involvement in terms of, I'm not sure if it's a day-to-day, I'm sure you'll be looking at it on a day-to-day, but this is a great and large undertaking. How are you going to be involved?
Yeah, great question. So my day job is CEO and CIO of Starlight Capital, and that remains my day job for as long as Daniel Drimmer will have me. In regards to the Black Opportunity Fund, the model is really the Equality Fund. So if you look at the Equality Fund has a CEO, it's got an organizational staff, and it has people that run it day to day who are overseen by a board. I sit on the board of the Toronto Foundation, and it's very much the same. The Toronto Foundation has an executive team and an organizational staff, and it's overseen by the board. So over time, the Black Opportunity Fund will get its own team of people who will run its operations day to day, and then it will have a board that provides oversight and governance. And my role will probably be, well, hopefully be, if I'm so honored, to sit on that board and oversee the day-to-day operations in a governance position. But from an operational standpoint, I have a day job, and it's pretty all-consuming. Again, that's why there are 51 signatories, and we're excited about the people we're adding, because there's tons of expertise, whether it's in healthcare or finance or accounting or legal. We've got tons of expertise in that group, and it just continues to grow every day. So I'm excited about the people who will be working on this.